Okay. Go ahead and start. Hey, everyone. Hi. Okay. We're going to talk a little bit about PowerSearch, and PowerSearch is eventually going to be our replacement for all of the Elliott searches. So like when you go into customer maintenance and you search for a customer, you would run in the future, you'll run just PowerSearches and not run the standard Elliott searches. So let's take a look at what they look like. It's the same kind of setup that you saw with Report Desk, where you have to go into company specialized control and global setup to enable it. It's going to have, you'll see that it's set up, and it's the way it works is very, very similar to how Report Desk works. So if you're familiar with one, you'll be familiar with how to use the other one. It's going to give you the same message that you would get if you turned on Report Desk, that you have to have your data converted. It's based on the same DDFs that Report Desk is based on. So it's using the relational database.
That's just a note. It doesn't actually look at that and confirm.
No, it doesn't. It's just making sure that you know that it's been done.
Even though you might not be smart enough to know it.
Well, if you're not, then you should call. And then we'll help you figure it out. And again, we have the same option that you have in Report Desk, where you could turn searches on and turn searches off if you enable this option. So if you enter yes, the supervisor will have the option to enable and disable certain searches. And if you answer no, then the users will see all the searches. Here's another example. You'll see here, this is the item search, and we have, I mean, some of these are turned off. Like I think this screenshot came from Davidson's, as they're using the 2 location searches, but they do not want to see the standard searches. So we turned it off. To enable PowerSearch for users, you have to go through user setup, just like you would for Report Desk. And it can be set up again at the global level or at the specific user level. And again, it runs off of the same database structure that you would see. So you have to go through your setup procedures to make sure that these database names are configured in the LA configurator. Again, you can access that through the configuration icon that's on the toolbar, or you could run the LA config from the bin86 directory. And once you run that, it's the same. It's using exactly the same setup that Report Desk uses. So you can create your databases here. So if you've already done this for Report Desk, you don't need to redo this for PowerSearch. It will apply to both. So here's an example. Just running a search. So if you went into customer maintenance and you hit the F7 key to search for the customer number, this is what you'll get. And the first option that you're seeing there, the AR CustGen, is the legacy customer number search. So that's the old version 8.5 search. And then the other 2 are 8.6 searches that are using PowerSearch. So the first one is just a simple search with just a customer name and a customer number. Similar to what you're seeing, what you're used to on the F7 search. The second search, the customer multi-field search, is more robust. So you'll have a customer name, customer number, maybe, let's see if I got a screenshot of it. You'll have additional fields that are on there. It's more like if you're looking for somebody by the state or by phone number or zip code, it's things that we thought that you would search for customers using if you're looking for someone. And you can see here, PowerSearch supports the same standard naming convention that we're using in Report Desk, where we have the type of the search is the first 8 characters. And the same thing, it's either a base search or an enhancement search. We have SQL templates, we have search templates, and then user revision. So you will be able to modify these to add additional fields to the searches. Okay, so here's the example. So this is the new customer multi-field search. You can see that we have the customer name. Customer number is not even here. So we have zip codes. We have different kinds of things here. Like if you were looking for a customer name and you only knew part of the name and you knew, but that part was in the middle of it. You weren't able to search by name like that before in 8.5. In 8.6, you can put a wildcard string in here, and then it will allow you to search for customers. We did the same thing with the item search. So we have the item search where description 1 and description 2 are concatenated together, pushed together. So you can search for an item using that full item description. Makes it a lot more convenient and easier to use. So what this these screens work exactly the same as Report Desk. So if I click OK on the screen, then I'll go ahead and fill out the parameters with whatever the default is. And I think on this one it's just all. So here's an example. So I put the string WILL into this customer name field. When you just type that, it will go ahead and put the parentheses, the percent signs on either side. That's how SQL determines that you want to use a like. If you wanted to look for anything that just started with WILL, you can type in WILL, the percent sign, and leave it off the front, and it will still work. It won't override what you typed. But you can see here, it's like this one here, the first entry, the WILL is in the middle of the string and it picked it up. The other thing that you notice here is that we have a limit. So the default limit on the searches that we know could potentially return a lot of data, like the item number search or the customer number search, we set a limit on those as a top 50. So if you wanted to see, like, let's say you ran this and I didn't see what I wanted in the top 50. You can go up to that field and say, okay, give me the top 100 and run it again. And then it'll give you the top 100 that it retrieves.
The top 50, how do you determine the top?
Based upon the query, based upon what it's gonna read through the data based upon the select statement or based upon the criteria that you entered. So like in this example, it's going on the customer name. So it's going to search through customer names and find them in that order. Okay, so if to select your customer to return it back to the application, you just highlight the field highlight the row that you want in the list, and then you click on the OK button and it returns it back just like a standard F7 search would do. One of the other features that we have with PowerSearch is that we've added the ability to, we're adding drill downs to these. So let's say you picked one of these customers, but you're not sure that it's the right one. So like I have this customer 100, and I want to make sure that this is the right one that I'm looking for. So if I click on the drill downs tab, it'll show me any drill downs that are available for this. So in this example here, we've hooked up the open order inquiry, which is the GUI inquiry screen that you can run from customer maintenance. So from the search, you can run this inquiry program just by clicking OK, and it will show you that drill down. So we have the potential to add different types of drill downs to that drill down screen. And then these are controlled by user rights, just like we were, like if you weren't allowed to do order inquiry, and you wouldn't see this drill down. The same security stuff that you have in LA applies to these. It's built in. So if your user has rights to modify a search, as soon as you pick this search, you're on the parameter screen, you're going to send you the same modify button here at the bottom that you would see on report desk. So let's say that we have this screen here. I know that if I'm looking, like if I have somebody's data here in-house and I'm looking for an active customer that I want to work with or do some testing with, then I want to see, okay, is this an active customer or not? So I do it based upon the last sale date. The old F7 search had the sale date on that little window in the bottom. It would show it. So you just scroll through and find some, oh, this person's active. They're not on hold. They're okay. So we're going to go ahead and add. It works the same way as report desk. So as soon as you hit the modify button, you're going to see the screen. You have the where, you have the order by and grouping, you have a body, and you'll see the drill downs. So this line area here represents all the fields that are shown in the results area. So if you click on the customer file and expand it, then you can see the customer fields. And in my example, I dragged the customer last date up to the where area so that I could see, I can sort by that, or not sort by it, but actually choose customers that had a sale date, let's say greater than the 1st of this year. When you get to after you drag it, you can change the operator, and I changed it from equals to greater than or equal. You can change the prompt from the field name to whatever you would like. And then it has this, I'll go back. It has the same test button that you can press just like in report desk. So when I press the test, you can see that the field shows up on the screen. So when you enter this, then this will add it to your where criteria for your search. It'll apply it. So I entered a date of 1/1/2023 and with my customer name, and then this is the only customer that appeared. Okay. So when you save, okay, from there, after you run it, you have the choice. You can either exit it or you can save new. I chose save new. So then it's asking me for a new search title, and it's asking me for a search abstract, which is just basically a little description of the search itself. And after you exit and come back out, you'll see the searches in the list. And again, because this is a user search, the user revision number is when it's saved, it incremented it, and now it has a 1. So the ones with the ones at the end, or any number at the end other than 0, are user defined searches. You have the same ability. You can change the title on the search. And we also support logging. So you can log your changes that were made to the search. So in this example, I'm going to change the order of the data as it appears. As you can see, the last one was showing in order by customer name, but I'm going to go ahead and add the state to this as well, because I have the same customer name that resides in multiple states. So I want to see them grouped together. So to do that, all you have to do is drag the field from the body and put it in the order by area. And that also changed the title at the same time. And we can save. And then this is asking me to log the changes that I just made. And then I ran the search. This time I ran it with Williams and then, but showing all the dates. And you can see that it grouped the two customers with the same name together, and then they are also in state order. So since I added the last sales date as one of the parameters for the search, I wanted to add that to the actual results list itself. So you can drag the field from the body to the line. And then you can test or you can save. And when you run it, you get you get the column added to your results line. Now if it's too wide, we have a maximum width on the search screen. So if you keep adding fields and adding fields, you'll end up with just like we have a scroll bar on the side, you'll end up with a scroll bar on the bottom if it's too wide. So you can scroll across to see any data that's off the screen. Is same thing with the reports. You can save parameters and you can reuse them. So here I went ahead and I saved the search, and I'm looking for all customers with the last sales date after 1/1/23. And you'll have the same function here for the use. So you can pick and use any searches that you have previously saved. Doesn't like the screen. I can show you. That's and it went to sleep. I went to sleep. What?
It's basically.
It went to sleep.
I know.
Yeah.
It's exit out. Okay, and
It still won't show my screen. And is
Okay.
this the screen that I'm sharing?
minimize it.
This is what I want to show. What is this?
Now start up PowerPoint again.
Man,
You are at which slide? Okay,
I
so
wasn't, this is the wrong presentation. I mean,
close this PowerPoint. Okay, and then bring up PowerPoint again.
like it goes to sleep.
Right, okay. It's do you know the slide? Okay. And go to do the demo.
Mm. That's
Show, yes. Ah, there we go. So,
okay, yeah, but
Uh-huh.
what I'm trying to do
yeah,
is this. I want to show
okay, so
This.
you have to close it. So I think it's the PowerPoint. You have to close the PowerPoint. PowerPoint is interfering. That's what it is, okay? You have to close the PowerPoint because the PowerPoint is basically making it difficult. Okay, and then
and And now, well, it says that I am sharing, but it's not. Oh, it thinks I'm sharing this screen. Oh, it says I'm sharing the PowerSearch, but it's not.
Okay, let's start sharing. Let's stop well, let's say next time stop recording.